Thank you for staying with us. Here's a very important question for you. Did you know that what you post on the internet and social media platforms can be used against you in court and a zillion other ways? Here to tell us why you should be very, very cautious about what you post is family law attorney Alisa Peskin-Shepherd and social media expert Lynne Golodner. Thanks to both of you for joining us. You all have probably one of the more important topics of the day. The internet is obviously fabulous. It's done wonderful things, but it's going to be the demise of so many people. Kids won't pay attention. They put anything they want on there. How do you get their attention and let them know what they're doing is hurting them?
It's a tough question, Amir. I have kids myself, and they just don't want to understand the long-term impact. But I always tell people that with social media, as long as you know what your purpose is when you go onto a site like Facebook or when you send an email or you're texting someone and you know your values, then you won't get sucked into anything damaging. So if you know that you want to network and build work relationships, that remains your focus. Or if you want to share good news or inspire people, that remains your focus. And you don't get pulled into gossip or political debates or anything detrimental, especially not bad-mouthing anyone else, which Alisa could probably attest to as well.
I'm sure. Can you get kids to pay attention to that? That sounds like, you know...
Children are less likely to pay attention, but adults even more so. Don't think before they post, especially if they're going through a divorce or having some issue with a former spouse. It's about thinking, actually, before you post something. And especially, I think people on Facebook become so competitive with other people, whether you're competing with your ex-spouse or your children are competing with other children. The things that end up on Facebook can end up in your attorney's lap or your ex-spouse's attorneys on their desk. And you have to be careful about those things.
It's interesting because I always tell my kids that once you put something out there, it's always out there. And they don't understand. They think if they take it down, it no longer exists on there. But actually, with the internet, once it's published, it is forever there. Even when you take it down, you can find it in an earlier version. And so that's why it is so important to have that clarity when you go online, to understand why you're on there in the first place, and to only get into a conversation that you really want to remain a part of.
Yeah, I remember hearing years ago as a much younger person, don't ever write anything down that you wouldn't want to see in the headlines the next day. It still stands true. It's just a different way to do it, and we've got to get that point across. I would imagine so many people would need to acquire the services of a lawyer because of this, and are they shocked about it?
Are they shocked that
I actually have to talk to you now because of something I may have done a long time ago on a social media?
Right, because they might not remember that they posted something.
Or think it was ever going to get exposed.
Or think that it was going to get exposed. But especially if you're going through a divorce, it's really good to keep things private. So there's no reason to put on Facebook or Instagram or to be tweeting
text message
about what you're doing in your social life, what your children might be doing. Just keep things private, especially at that time in your life.
You know what's kind of interesting to me, though, that we meaning the country or human nature, or anyway, we have the ability to save every single thing that every single person has done. I mean, it's almost, you don't believe it. You just don't believe it.
Really, everything lives on, even when you don't want it to. Rumors and reputation. But, you know, the truth is that we always should be thinking about our image whenever we interact with someone, when we're on the street. And this is no different. And so people really need to keep in mind the face they want to show the world. And is it a nice one? Is it a vindictive one? Is it mean and trite and saying things that they're going to regret later? A lot of people respond, especially in social media, because it's so quick, with emotion. And emotion is never the best place to start when you want to be remembered.
No, most decisions made emotionally are wrong decisions. Some people say you could have a professional page or a personal page. Does that matter? I mean, because you can still get it all, can't you?
Well, as a professional, I do have a professional page and a personal page. So my professional page, I'm able to use that to post inspirational messages about life, about divorce, information about divorce or in the legal field, family law, a new case that might come out. So that's what I use my professional page for. That leaves my personal page to be just personal. And I don't have to mix the two that way.
Personal and not careless.
Right. You're still in public. Even though we're sitting in our own homes in front of the computer, when we're on social media, it's a public forum.
And it really is forever. I mean, it never goes down. It never backs up.
Never goes away. Very creative programmers can find your very first website from 10 years ago.
Right. You may think that you're deleting an email or you're deleting a post from your Facebook account, but we have experts now in the digital age who can go back into your computer on your hard drive and find the old messages. Even old text messages now, we can find those if we need to for a case. So anything that you're doing, even if you're deleting it, potentially could be used as evidence against you.
That is absolutely true, but absolutely unbelievable to most people. Thanks for talking about it. And I hope those listening have paid attention and will carry it on because it's just so urgent. And I appreciate your explaining that to us today. For more information, you can contact Alisa and Lynne by going to their website that you see on the screen.